to this video, I would like to take you through how you can file for your employment income tax return in case you receive some foreign income additional to your employment income. So that means that you are required by the law or the revenue authority to declare this income since you are a resident individual and you earn some income from a foreign country. So what you need to do, you just need to get into the iTax portal. And after getting into the iTax portal, you need to enter your iTax TIN. So I just populate my iTax TIN, my iTax TIN here, which is A015 43007A. Then you need to hit continue. Then you need to ensure that you have entered the right TIN and also the right password. You also need to do a simple mathematical computation here, which is giving me a value of 60. Let me ensure I populate it where it is required, 60. Then you need to sign in. When you sign in, you need to come to where we have return and choose file returns. Then you need to choose the tax obligation, which is the income tax resident individual, and then click next. Then you'll be taken into this interface. What you need to do, you can choose to use the auto-populated ITL or basically download the manual Excel sheet. So just use the auto-populated ITL, just choose the return period, which dates back from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. In your case, at the type of return, it will be original, but in my case, it is showing amended because I have already filed my income tax return. Then I'll just download the sheet here. So mine is downloading as amended, but yours will be original. Then after doing that, I need to get back into my browser, to my File Explorer. So this is the sheet which I have downloaded now. So I just need to click above it, and then come to where we have property, and then choose unblock, click apply, and click OK. Then what I need to do basically again, just need to click above that sheet and choose to extract all. Then choose to extract. Then when I do that, I'll just get this sheet. I just need to click above it and choose to open. The reason we have done that is to solve the macros problem, because we get some macros problem when opening this document using Microsoft Excel. So just open with, don't open it with WPS Office. So since you get into some problem, just open it with Excel. So basically, this one will take some time to open because it contains some pre-populated details. So as we are hitting it to open, we should just give it some 2 to 3 minutes so that it will open and we can continue. So we need to basically file our employment income concurrently with the foreign income which we receive. Maybe we offer some services. That this foreign income may be subject to maybe tax from the country of origin. And in case the Kenyan government has something we call DTA, the double taxation agreement with that country, you can be able to claim for double taxation to avoid being taxed twice. More so for digital operators, that usually is more prevalent. So this document technically, it will also take some time to open in your device because it already contains some pre-populated data. So that's why it is taking some time to open. But we should just give it time because it's already pre-populated. We should just do the adjustment for employment for the foreign income adjustments, and we'll be good to go. But in case you are using this auto-populated ITL, you also need to have is a best practice to also have the PIN form with you, so that we can compare the data in the PIN form and the data which is pre-populated in the iTax portal. In some scenario, you get that this data in some cases usually don't correlate, and you need to do manual adjustments so that you ensure you are filing the right amount and you are able to offer credit where it is due to avoid maybe overpayment or understating your tax liability. So it is a requirement. When you are doing this, don't believe so much on this automated system. Just ensure you compare the data between the two documents, the Excel sheet and the data in your PIN form. So first thing first, this auto-populated sheet has already downloaded. So what I need to do, I just need it to stabilize, and we can be able to populate the data here. So it takes some time to open this things to the data which is already pre-populated in the sheet. So just a minute, it is stabilized so that we can be able to continue. So we need to get into the basic details. So you notice because we have used the auto-populated sheet, my basic details is already auto-populated. You can see my TIN is already auto-populated. The type of return, in my case, we have said we shall just use the original return. The tax period dates back from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. So I need to do the adjustment of the other income which you have. You can see that the employment income is already pre-populated here. You can see also the deduction for the pay is already done here, and also the tax computation has already been done here. So what do I need to do basically? Basically what I need to do, what I'm required by law, I need to come to where we have the basic information. Then I'm being asked if I have any other income other than employment income. I'll just come here and say yes. When I say yes, you notice that some sheets have been added here, which is the profit and loss account and the balance sheet account. So I need to come under the profit and loss account. And what I need to do, I need to enter the value, the gross amount of the foreign income which I received. Maybe you need to know the source of this foreign income. In most scenarios, it can either be commission or other income. So what I need to do, mine was commission wise. So because in most scenarios, the foreign income is usually paid in the foreign currency, that is USD, and maybe you didn't capture the spot exchange rate when you are receiving that income. You can use the average interest rate for that period, which is the income year 2025, which was 129.50. So what you need to do, you need to get into your calculator. So you need to get into your calculator, and then we are assuming a scenario where you received 5,000 USD. So the interest rate, which was average, was 129.50. So you need to come and multiply it with it here and get the amount as 647,500. You can just come here and populate that amount here, in case that is the amount. So you just get the amount which you made the transaction for, which is in your invoices, and then can come and populate it here. So the reason which you are doing this, by last year, people did not do fiscalized invoices. So these are fiscalized invoices technically means that these invoices were recorded via eTIMS, where you are able to bill your customer using eTIMS compliant invoices. So that's why you need to take the invoice amount and populate it here. That's why it was not auto-populated in the iTax portal. So based on the current KRA regulation, you notice that any expense which will be netting off from this gross turnover, it must be validated via eTIMS. So in previous years, you could come here and do estimation of expenses which you had already incurred. But in this year, any expense which will be lessing against this income, it must be fiscalized using eTIMS. But in scenario where you are unable to fiscalize these invoices or receipts or the expenses which you had via eTIMS, KRA has offered a solution which is provided at the sheet T, which is here, at the T computation, which is here, where at the section 6 of this sheet, at the section 6 which is here, you can be able to claim these expenses which are technically supposed to be deducted from your gross turnover through manual and eTIMS/TIMS expenses. And how you do that, you need to get back into the iTax portal, come to where we have returns, come to where we have income tax returns adjustments, and then come to where we have manual and non-eTIMS/TIMS invoices. Then you need to choose the return period, and that is income year 2025, and then click next. So when you click next, you'll be asked if you want to do adjustment for manual and eTIMS/TIMS invoices. Just click that one. Then what you need to do, you just need to download this CSV document here and choose to open it. So you can just open it using WPS. Then you need to populate some details here, which is the supplier TIN, the supplier name, the invoice number, the invoice date, the supplier description, and the amount. So this is what you technically need to do. And when you enter all these details, don't do the aggregate or don't aggregate the amount. So just make it remain that way. And then after you do that, you just need to come to where we have file. Choose to save after you have entered the detail, all your expenses. So those expenses legit from the in case you have an office, you have the office rent. Maybe you can have, maybe in case you are working in an IT industry, maybe you bought some software, you need to come here and populate here. Maybe you bought some laptops, you need to enter the supplier tin, the tin of the supplier who, in the invoice which you are given by any supplier, it must contain the supplier's PIN, the supplier's name, the invoice number, the invoice date, the supplier description, and the amount. After you populate those details here, you need to come here and technically save that document. You need to ensure you identify where you save it. Maybe we can save it under the downloads, and then choose to save. So I can list press the file here, and then don't save as Excel document, just save as comma saved value. Then you can get back to your browser, then come here and choose that comma saved value here. So let me come here, choose it and save it here. Then you can choose supportive document, which can be your invoices here, your invoices. You can come here and select one of the invoices. So in case you have multiple invoices which you want to net off against this income which you generated, just put them as one document and come and upload them here. Then after doing that, you can submit and you'll be able to do that manual adjustment of the invoices. So the value which you adjust, you can come and deduct that value under this section which you have, manual and teams invoices. Just come and do the adjustment here. Maybe we assume you claimed like for that 1,000 as the expense which you deducted to generate this income. So you see that the profit will be now adjusted to 217,500, which is here, 217,500. And after doing that, you can see that you will be able to reduce your tax liability. And after doing that, now you can be able to come here. In case this income was subject to withholding tax, you can come here and claim for withholding tax credit, which is an advance tax which you had paid for to the taxman. And after doing that, you can come here and validate. Though no, I have you get an error here, so I need to cancel here. And what we need to do, you need to come under the balance sheet and do the reporting of the balance sheet. I know in most scenario, you are really susceptible on the expenses and the liabilities which you have, the liability and the assets which you have. So I usually recommend, because when doing this annual reporting of your income, you are technically reporting your operating income and operating expenses, which needs you to give you a profit, which you need to declare it to the revenue authority. So you can come here and use an estimated value. Where we have other assets, you can put value 1. And where we have other loans, which is in this section, you can come here and populate value 1. And asset and liability side has balance. And from that now angle, you can come here where we have the tax computation and choose to validate now these sheets. And now they will validate very easily. So when you validate them, we should just validate them and upload them to the iTax portal, and we are good to go. And that is how we usually do in case you have any employment income and other foreign income originating from foreign country, or any other income originating from any source. That is technically the method which we are currently using. So we should just give it time to validate these sheets here, and allow us now to continue. So just a minute as it is validating. So in case you have not given this video a thumb up, you can give it a thumb up so that you will not be missing out any of our future running content like this. Also, you can reach me using the contact in the description, or also using my email, so that we can have conversation regarding this. So you are told if sheets are ready to be, do you want to generate? Yes. So these are the sheets here. I'll just click OK. Then what I need to do, I need to get into the iTax portal. Then you need to come to where we have file returns again. Then you need to come where we have tax obligation. Just choose income tax resident and then click next. Then you need to come here, click OK. Then you need to enter the return period, which dates back from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. Then you need to choose the file here, which is under the documents. And then you need to come here, select the time. The time is this one. Then you are being asked if you have any other rent, if you have the rental property. In my case, no. Then you need to agree with the terms, and after that, you need to come here and go ahead and submit. So this was just a demo, not go ahead and submit, but this is technically the method which we follow. In case you have any query regarding this, you can